You sit down with a cup of coffee and open your laptop. Within seconds, you're watching a university lecture from Harvard, learning coding from a programmer in India, or practicing French with someone in Paris. All from your living room. This is how we learn today. But the story of how knowledge travels from one mind to another is full of surprising turns. From clay tablets to virtual classrooms, each breakthrough has opened new doors for human potential. Let's explore how learning itself learned to evolve. The beginning, knowledge by memory. Thousands of years ago, all learning happened through stories. Elders would gather children around fires and share what they knew. History, skills, and wisdom passed from person to person, memory to memory. This worked well for small communities. But it had limits. When someone died, their knowledge often died with them. Writing, the first revolution. Everything changed when humans learned to write. Suddenly, knowledge could survive beyond human memory. The ancient Egyptians wrote on papyrus. The Mesopotamians pressed words into clay tablets. For the first time, a teacher's lessons could reach students they would never meet. But writing was expensive and slow. Only the wealthy could afford books. Most people still learned through listening and watching. The printing press, knowledge for everyone. In 1440, Johannes Gutenberg created something that would change human history. The printing press. Before Gutenberg, copying a single book took months of careful handwriting. After his invention, hundreds of books could be printed in the same time. Books became cheaper. Knowledge became available to ordinary people, not just the rich. The printing press didn't just spread information. It spread ideas, questions, and new ways of thinking. It helped spark the Renaissance, the scientific revolution, and the Reformation. Schools for all, the public education movement. By the 1800s, societies realized something important. If everyone could read, everyone could contribute more to society. Countries began building public schools. Children who once worked in fields or factories now spent their days learning to read, write, and count. Education became a right, not a privilege. But traditional classrooms had their own challenges. One teacher, 30 students, and everyone learning the same thing at the same pace. Some students felt bored, others felt lost. Distance learning, the first experiment. In 1728, something interesting happened in Boston. A teacher named Caleb Phillips placed an advertisement in a newspaper. He offered to teach shorthand through letters sent by mail. This was the first distance learning course. Students could learn from home, at their own speed. The idea grew slowly but steadily over the next 2 centuries. Radio and television, classrooms without walls. When radio arrived, educators saw new possibilities. Schools in remote areas could access the same quality lessons as city schools. Television made it even better by adding visual learning. Educational TV programs like Sesame Street proved that learning could be entertaining. Children learned letters and numbers while having fun. The screen became a new kind of teacher. Computers enter the classroom. The 1980s brought personal computers into schools. At first, most teachers weren't sure what to do with them. But gradually, computers became tools for research, writing, and creative projects. Students could access encyclopedias, practice math problems, and even create their own digital stories. Learning became more interactive and personalized. The internet opens everything. Then came the internet, and everything exploded. Suddenly, any question could be researched in minutes. Any topic could be explored in depth. Students in small towns could access the same resources as students in major universities. The world's knowledge became available to anyone with an internet connection. Online learning, education without borders. The early 2000s saw the rise of online courses. Universities began offering full degree programs over the internet. Working adults could earn degrees without leaving their jobs. Parents could study after putting their children to bed. Then came MOOCs, massive open online courses. Thousands of students from around the world could take the same class. A professor at Stanford could teach students in Singapore, Sao Paulo, and Stockholm simultaneously. The smartphone campus. When smartphones became common, learning moved into our pockets. Language learning apps like Duolingo made studying feel like playing games. YouTube became the world's largest university, with tutorials on everything from cooking to quantum physics. People could learn during their commute, their lunch break, or while waiting in line. Education was no longer bound by time or place. The pandemic acceleration. In 2020, COVID-19 forced the world into an unexpected experiment. Schools closed, but learning had to continue. Teachers and students moved online almost overnight. Some struggled with the technology. Others discovered they learned better from home. The pandemic showed both the possibilities and the challenges of digital learning. A story, Maria's mathematical journey. Maria lives in a small village in Guatemala. Her local school only goes to grade 6. But Maria loves mathematics and wants to become an engineer. Through her phone, she discovers Khan Academy. She starts with basic algebra and works her way up. When she gets stuck, she joins online study groups with students from Mexico, Colombia, and Spain. 3 years later, Maria passes her university entrance exams. Her village celebrates as she becomes the first person from her community to study engineering. Technology didn't just give her access to education. It gave her access to dreams. The new challenges. Modern learning tools bring new questions. With so much information available, how do we know what's true? With so many choices, how do we stay focused? With artificial intelligence helping us find answers, are we still learning to think? The digital divide remains real. Students with fast internet and new devices have advantages over those without. Making quality education truly accessible to everyone is still a work in progress. What's coming next? Artificial intelligence is beginning to personalize learning in amazing ways. AI tutors can adapt to each student's learning style and pace. They can identify exactly where a student is struggling and provide targeted help. Virtual and augmented reality might let students walk through ancient Rome, explore the inside of a cell, or practice surgery without risk. Learning could become as immersive as living. Brain-computer interfaces might one day let us download skills directly. But will knowledge without struggle have the same value? These are questions we'll need to answer together. The human element. Despite all these technological advances, something remains constant. The best learning still happens when humans connect with humans. A great teacher inspires curiosity. A study partner offers encouragement when things get difficult. A mentor shows us possibilities we never imagined. Technology can deliver information faster than ever before. But wisdom still travels slowly, from one heart to another. Questions to consider. What's the most important thing you've learned recently? How do you prefer to learn, by reading, watching, listening, or doing? If you could learn anything new today, what would it be? A thought experiment. Imagine you could send a message to a student 100 years from now. What would you tell them about learning in our time? What advice would you give them about staying curious in a world full of instant answers? What's next in our journey? Learning helps us grow as individuals. But innovation helps society move forward. In our next chapter, we'll explore how human creativity and problem-solving have given us everything from the wheel to the smartphone. Keep learning. Keep questioning. And remember, every expert was once a beginner. The world needs what you have to offer. The question is, what will you learn today to share tomorrow?